Okay, now that we have our background created, we're going to go ahead and put our name in the cartouche, and our name is going to go right in here, right on the inside of the cartouche. Now, rather than have you guys download a font and go ahead and having to install it on your computer and everything like that, I've created a file with Egyptian hieroglyphics for each letter of the alphabet, so we can basically just copy and paste them into our document. So I'm going to go and open up a file that I've created called hieroglyphic letters, PSD. It's a Photoshop file. So I'm going to select this and hit open. And now let's take a look at this file for a moment. If you take a look, we have every letter of the alphabet listed in the file along with its Egyptian hieroglyphic counterpart. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the selection tool, the lasso tool, to select each of the letters that we need for our name, copy them, and paste them into our document. Now, if you take a look at the top, you can see that right here I have two Photoshop files open right now. I've got the hieroglyphic letters file that we're looking at. I also have the original cartouche that I just finished coloring in the background. So I have both files here, and I can access each one by just clicking on the name of the file at the top of the screen. So I'm going to start with my last name. I'm going to use my last name for the name in the cartouche. So I need to start with my L. I'm going to zoom in so I can select it a little bit more accurately. And if you notice, the background has that black and gray checkerboard background. That means that there are no pixels in the background, and there are no pixels around each of the characters. The only pixels in this file are the actual letters. So I'm going to use my lasso tool, and basically all I want to do is I just want to start, and I can start anywhere. I'm going to start around the L, and you notice I'm going to leave off the letter L because I don't want that to show. I just want the Egyptian hieroglyphic. So I'll go here, and as soon as I get close, I'm going to release the mouse, and that's going to create the selection, these marching ants. So right now I only have the Egyptian hieroglyphic for the letter L selected. So I'm going to go up and go Edit, Copy, or Command C, and then I'll just deselect and go back to my cartouche, and then I will go Edit, Paste, or Command V. And that's going to paste that directly into the center of my cartouche. Now I want to take my Move tool, and if you notice, when that happened, as soon as I pasted that letter into place, it created a new layer in Photoshop. Anytime you paste a new object into Photoshop, it automatically creates a new layer. So I want to take this object now, and I want to move it to, I'm going to double click this layer, okay, and then move this to the right. Now if you see, I've got these little guidelines, but if I want to make sure I'm moving it along the same plane, I'll just hold down the Shift key and move it over to right about there. Then I go back to my letters, and I'm going to hold down the space bar and get that little hand so I can navigate around. So now I need the letter U, so I'll come down here, and here's the letter U. I'll take my lasso tool, and I will select and just release just before I get there, and Edit, Copy, deselect, go back to my cartouche, then Edit, Paste, and then double click my layer to make sure, and then I just want to move this over with the Move tool. What's happening here? Move this over. There. Now if you notice, as soon as I pasted that letter in, it also pasted a new layer. Now when I'm done putting all the letters of my name in here, I'm going to want to condense these layers because I don't want to have to move all these layers individually or edit these layers individually. I want to be able to put them all on the same layer. So we're going to merge these layers down after I finish adding all the letters of my name. So I'll go in, go back, and this time I need a letter P, which is right here. And because this is a rectangle, I can use the rectangle selection tool. I don't have to. I can use the lasso tool, but I'll use the rectangle tool. And then edit copy, or Command C, deselect, go back to my cartouche, and again, edit, paste. And I can move this over. I can also use the arrow keys on my keyboard if I need to nudge it over. I'll go back, and this time I need an I. So I'll go up here, find the letter I, take my lasso tool, and release and select the I, edit copy, or Command C, deselect, go back, edit, paste, and move this over. I need 3 more letters. I'm going to go back, and this time I need an A, and here's the A right here. So I will again use my lasso tool to select the A, release to complete the selection, edit copy, deselect, go back to my cartouche, edit, paste, and get my move tool and hold down the shift key and move it over. Now I need, and again, every time you do that, it creates a new layer. So I'm going to go back, and now I need the letter N, which is right there. And I think I'll use the rectangle tool and just select that, edit copy, deselect, go back, edit, paste, get my move tool, move that over, and again I'll just nudge it with my arrow keys. Now I've got L, U, P, I, A, N, and then the last letter of my name is also an I. So I could go back and select an I here if I want to, but I already have one here. I already have an I on a layer. So I'm going to see which layer that was. Let's see, it's not that. If I turn this, not that one. It's not that one, that one. Okay, here it is. So this is a layer with my I. Now I could have gone in and actually labeled each of these so I know which layer they are. And if that makes it easier for you to do, that's fine. If you just double click the layer name, then you can type in a new name, and that's N. I'm going to hit enter. This one here, which would be the A. Make that A and hit enter. So I could go in and actually change all of these. But since I only need one more, and again, the I is here, I'm just going to do this one so I know which one it is. I. So I'm going to take this layer here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, and then I'll go up here to duplicate layer. Click that, and it's telling me it's an I copy. I'll just name it I and hit OK. So now I can see that I have 2 I's here, and I'm just going to select this I, and I want to take my move tool and just move it over right about there. Now it looks like these letters on the end are a little bit tight and there's more space here, so all I want to do is I just want to go in and I'll start with layer 3 here, which has the letter L. I'm just going to move this over, then I'll come up. I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard to do this. I could do it with the move tool, but I'm just going to go and use the arrow key to nudge these over, and then just open up some of the space here so that it looks a little bit, go here, it's like it's spaced out a little bit better. And okay, how's that look? Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I've got my name here, L-U-P-I-A-N-I. But now all these different letters are on different layers, and I want these to be on the same layer. So I'm going to go for a second, and just for a moment, I'm going to turn off the layers that I don't want to merge together, which are these 2 layers here. The rest of the layers are each of the letters in my name, and these are the ones I do want to merge. So now that I have the letters of my name visible and the other 2 layers, the outline of the cartouche and the background layer, not visible, I'll go up here to the pull down menu and I'll select merge visible. Now, as soon as I do that, it merged down all the layers that I had visible into one. So now all the letters of my name are in the same layer. I can turn this layer back on and turn this layer back on, and then I can start to color the letters of my name.